Alright, so welcome back for another driveway. Today, we're going to figure out some more stuff with the Crossfire. So, looking at our list of things to do, there's really only a couple of things that we need to do left here for phase 2. There's probably a phase 3 where that's just straight up fine-tuning every last single aspect of it, but that can be slowly taken care of, and most likely it'll take place off camera because a lot of those in-between little tiny parts aren't worth videotaping. But let's start off with what I have done off camera with the Crossfire as it is. So let's go take a look. Alright, so far today, I have gotten all the trim put back on, and let's zoom in here a little bit and see if we can get you a little better look on what I did to make sure I don't lose these guys. I ran some big old washers and actually just fastened them straight into the body of the car. So on these side sections, I'm not worried about too much about them catching complete flight, but I did put a couple screws, one here and one there, kind of countersunk in there, and a thread nut insert on the actual body. Now the piece that I am worried about running away is this one up top. So across the top I have 5 threaded nut inserts with a big stainless washer, a stainless finish washer, and then a screw. So that fastens all this. This guy is not going anywhere. We could probably hit 300 and not care where that goes. So, now that we have this fixed, so I don't have to worry about anything flying away, we can get back to some more fun stuff. And what we're doing in this episode is taking place under the hood. We're getting some new shocks. Alright, so at least one aspect about Crossfire being made kind of as an ancient platform the whole shock setup is usually easier to deal with. You can just straight up pull all this stuff off. You don't have to worry about the modern disaster of spring weight from coilovers. So we can just zip those guys right off. Alright, so a couple blips of the old little impactor, and we get the bolt out, and then we can just weasel this whole shock on out of here. There's our most likely stock shock. Now I'm going to have to figure out how to get this rubber section off there because you need to transport that to the new shock. And this one's kind of already torn. Well, that's lovely. Extra little dust boot. Well, I guess we don't need the dust boot then. Well, isn't that something? Yep, anyways, I guess we got this little guy. Alright, so what we got to replace them are some Koni adjustable guys. Got the little adjustment up there in the top for on the fly adjustment for the most part. So now we're just going to have to grab our old shock and try to finish pulling all the rest of this other stuff off there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Alright, well here's our instructions for the install. That's all you get. Memorize it, because it's gone. So, what that actually comes up to is you need to first take the dust cover off. When you take the dust cover off, you will find your bump stop. So you take your bump stop, jam it onto the shaft here. It will eventually jam on there. Get your split washer down at the bottom. Make sure this guy is drilled out big enough to slide on the shaft. Then reinstall your bushing on the new sleeve. Once we have that, we can just jam this thing back up into place. Alright, we got that jammed on down there. Your rubber guy shoved up here. Big washer there. And we got that there. This guy's a much bigger bolt. Alright, now with all that installed, all you have to do is take your little cap there and you can adjust it plus or minus. It's already at minus, so you can just crank it up if you need stiffer shocks. So that's going to be quite nifty. I think I'll leave it at the softest point until I can take it for a ride. So now that's one down. I've got another 3 to go. So we'll probably just check back once we have that all done and close out this video. So we'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so the fronts are in and taken care of. So we decided to move on to the back here. Had to drop the wing down to get access to the trunk, but that's kind of what I designed this style for. So now we can do the same in the front, rip out the bolts back here, swap it out for the new one. And we'll probably have to shave the bump stops, so we'll take a look at that here. Alright, so in the rear we have a little bit of a hurdle to overcome. This is already a replaced shock. It's a KYB, and they pretty much have everything trapped in here, so we can't necessarily steal anything like the bump stop. So we're just gonna probably just have to send her on down and hope we don't bottom out the back, but that really shouldn't be much of a problem. With the super stiff springs in the back, we should have that pretty much taken care of. So instead of being able to steal that inner shock section, I'm going to use the top washer that they sent with the kit to hold up our bushing, because it's a little bit thicker. And then I drilled out the old bottom to be used as the top. So that should be good enough. So now we're just going to have to, once again, jam this thing all back together. Little something like that. Well, that job wasn't too terribly bad. We got those Konis thrown in there. I've adjusted the adjusted the shocks, made a 360-degree adjustment, so they're not on the super soft. I believe you can go all the way up to 720. So that's two 360s, so we are right in the middle of what this thing should be able to dial in on those shocks. So I figure that's probably a good place to start, and we can probably go from there. So the weird part, whoever owned this previously had already put different rear shocks in, and they were stiffer than the front shocks. So that could have been some weirdity going on there, but either way, we got those adjustables in there. We can tune them as we feel. If we need them softer going down the road, we can go softer. If we need them stiffer at the track, we can just crank her up. Anyways, I guess this is enough for today. I'm going to be getting a new license plate for back here. It's one that doesn't require me to have one on the front, so I couldn't really figure out a place to put a front license plate on with that front bumper cover and the splitter and all that type of stuff, so we can get rid of the one out of the windshield and just go with a single on the back. But anyways, once again, thanks for stopping by and watching. Hopefully we'll see you again later.